You know, I think once Game Boy Advance games are added to the Nintendo Switch Online service, or if they will I should say, I think the service for me personally will be worth the price. The fact that you can get access to DLC is pretty neat as well. Hey guys, it's Rob here, and welcome back to the Robo Show, where we take the gaming news format that channels like Spawnwave or Arlo do, add a dash of animation and some cool editing on top to bring you your gaming news, leaks, and rumors in a fresh new way. If you're new here and want to be kept up on everything gaming, make sure you subscribe to the channel and leave a like if you enjoy the video and dislike if not. In this video, we are going to talk about some of the past news and Nintendo Switch leaks from Nintendo that has happened over the past couple days. These range from the NES Online application leak that shows unreleased NES games to some huge news for Splatoon 3. If you guys enjoy this video, leave a like, it helps the video out when you do, and if you want to follow me on Twitter and help me reach my goal of 900 followers, you can follow me at roborob93. Without further delay, let's talk about some Nintendo stuff. It is finally starting to feel like spring, guys. Over here in New York, it's in the 70s, which is just fantastic. The birds are chirping outside my window right now, and things are pretty good. As we all know, spring is when Nintendo likes to share a bunch of Nintendo news for release dates, new games, and Nintendo news to look forward to in the coming months. Some are small things, but others are pretty big, but let's go over the small stuff first and get you guys caught up on things before we talk about the bigger topics. The first bit of small news that we have is Digimon Survive will be releasing worldwide on July 29th on the Nintendo Switch, so for those who are excited for this game, you have about a month and a couple days until you can buy that game, which I think I might actually check this game out for myself because it does look interesting to me. Next up, we have Sonic 3 and Sonic & Knuckles remastered by Headcanon in a newly announced game called Sonic Origins. Now, for those who don't know, they were in charge of Sonic Mania, a game that at the time was pretty big, and I recall a lot of people praising the game. This is pretty good news for Sonic Origins. Next up, we have file sizes for upcoming Nintendo Switch games. First up, we have Xenoblade, which is going to be about 15 gigabytes. According to Nintendo Life, Xenoblade 2 was 13.7, so not too much of a difference there. Splatoon 3 rounds out at 6 gigabytes, which is pretty low, which by the way, we have some fantastic news for Splatoon 3, which I am very excited for. More on that later though. The last one is Switch Sports, which is 1.4 gigabytes large. You know, I'm pretty excited for this game, though I'll unfortunately have to wait because my Joy-Con not only can't hold a charge for some reason, but it also has Joy-Con drift. Hopefully those who can play at launch will enjoy the game though. We also have some new Sega Genesis games added to the Nintendo Switch Online expansion pack for April, which includes Sega Genesis games Shining Force 2, Sonic Pinball, which is a game that I haven't played in a very long time, and Space Harrier 2. And that is all for the smaller topics. So moving on to some more interesting and bigger topics, we have unreleased NES games that have leaked. So over the past couple of days, there have been a ton of Nintendo Switch leaks that have been happening that have to do with the Nintendo Switch Online service. First, there was the fully working Game Boy Advance emulator that was leaked that shows some interesting things of not only Game Boy Advance games, but also Game Boy games as well. And not only that, but more than 30 Game Boy Advance games were found being tested with this emulator as well. And 3 of those games on the list had a recent trademark renewal, so that's interesting as well. It all fits together. More about that in this video. If you're interested, just click the top right corner of this video and you'll be brought to that video. And now we have some unreleased NES games leaking as well, with full video proof too, guys. I personally first came across this from Orchestra over on Twitter, and this is what Orchestra said. A handful of Nintendo's upcoming Nintendo Switch Online emulators and plans have leaked. Let's take a look at them. First, we have the leaked NES Online application, which contains all of the currently available titles as well as several new ones. Notably, it contains Pac-Man, Tetris, Galaga, Mega Man, and Castlevania. Below is comparison on the current version and the master version. The leaked application has a build date of October 2019, and the games being rolled out officially have mostly lined up with what's in the leaked application, so it appears that the plans released were set up far in advance, and this shows what they might release. Not all titles are in the same state of work. Whereas games like Mega Man have an SP game and a description available, games like Galaga have placeholders, so not all games may be intended to release, but I think this shows a good idea of what might be coming. Now, keep in mind that these games don't necessarily mean they're coming. They might be coming, as he said in the tweet, so keep in mind that even when you're viewing these games and expecting them to come to the service, they may not come. But still, very good to see that they have these games games here, and this actually makes me wonder what Nintendo 64 games do they have planned, because this is from 2019, so they probably have a ton of games already stacked on top, and they're going to be drip-feeding this over a couple years. And the next topic is something that is huge for Splatoon 3. Now, if you guys remember in my video about the Xenoblade release date change, I gave out a theory, and that theory may have been right. What I said was that maybe the reason behind the release date change for Xenoblade 3 was because Splatoon 3 needed more time. Nintendo saw that Xenoblade 3 was farther along in development, and they switched the two release dates around. Now, other people thought that Xenoblade 3 coming in July meant that Splatoon 3 was actually going to be delayed, but I kind of went the opposite route, and I'm glad I was right. Or I might have been right, because we don't know why they did it. It could have just been the original release date and planned all along, who knows. But personally, I think I hit the nail on the head, because Splatoon 3 is coming out in September, which is just fantastic. I mean, Nintendo is doing a fantastic job with releasing games on the Nintendo Switch. We always have something to look forward to, whether it be news or a big release for indie games or third-party games. There's always something to look forward to on the Nintendo Switch, and not just games itself, but just giving us news and telling us what's going on, for the most part anyways. I mean, we actually have a lot of gameplay for a lot of games, and we always do, unlike, you know, another company which really isn't sharing too much. Xbox, here's hoping to E3, guys. But yeah, Splatoon 3 is coming out in September. Now, I'd be curious to see if E3, or again, what was E3? I keep forgetting about that. What I meant to say was I'd be curious to see what they do with the Nintendo Direct for June. Because I personally think that Nintendo should do a Splat test, which I'm pretty sure it's called a Splat test. It's where they do the multiplayer and they let you play it. If they do give us a beta for the multiplayer, it would be fantastic. Since it's coming out in September, I don't see why not. Let the players play the game, test the game out, and work out any kinks or bugs, and make Splatoon 3 fantastic at launch. And to go along with this news, Splatoon 2 owners who also have the Nintendo Switch Online expansion pack will also get the DLC for Splatoon 3 free as well. So if it wasn't clear by now, I think the increased value of the Nintendo Switch Online service is starting to go up. But for me personally, I think if they were to add the Game Boy Advance games, that would be the tipping point for me to say, yes, this is definitely worth it now. I mean, heck, if they ever add GameCube games, I'm getting that day one. I love the GameCube. Though I do think GameCube games are a bit different than past consoles for the Nintendo Switch Online service. I think Nintendo would probably use GameCube games as remakes or remasters instead of throwing them on the NSO app. But then again, we do have Super Mario 64 in the collection as well as on the NSO app as well, so you never know. Oh, and by the way, I did draw something that I wanted to show you guys that I may be doing a speed drawing for. Basically what I did was I made Scarlet Witch into an Inkling, which is kind of an interesting idea. It's not finished because I gotta add the face and all that, but it's pretty cool in my opinion. I'm thinking of doing a speed drawing on this design, so tell me if you guys wanna see that on the channel. And while you're at it, tell me your thoughts on today's news and these Nintendo Switch leaks. And if not, on your way out, make sure you subscribe for more videos and also have that notification bell on. And if you want to support the channel in any other way, there is my Patreon and Twitter account in the pinned comment if you're interested in those. Oh, and also have this donut if you're still sticking around for me rambling. Thanks for watching, guys, and remember, stay safe, stay charged, and have a good one.